Hello and welcome back to AntsLithuania. Today I will be talking about how the ants are doing and a bit more stuff about the channel. So at first, how the ants are doing. The ants are doing great. Right now we have sadly still 4 workers, 2 larvae and the queen. So nothing has changed right now. And I have said some incorrect stuff about the species, and I actually should try to learn to pronounce the name a bit better. But how I said the names are actually Latin, and you could have probably guessed that I do not know Latin. So, what have I said wrong about their species? First, those ants can actually have pretty strong mandibles, that's their jaw. We can have warriors too, that grow pretty big, but aren't that big as a leafcutter major or fire ant major. They cannot spit acid, and after they have asserted a certain part of the forest usually as their territory, they can be actually pretty aggressive at defending it. Until while I was at the forest, there happened a pretty funny thing that I was just walking around, and from a tree branch that I hit, an ant fell on my neck and started biting me. It wasn't that painful but annoying. And there isn't any mark, so I would count it as a good memory. And how you could see, I have created an ant farm, or how I should say an ant box or cube, that the ants were actually pulling on the cotton, and you probably could see at some of the older videos that there is a bit of cotton lying inside. What would be, looking from reality, what we would do is starting to dig out and then hunt for something. And I could see one ant basically always patrolling the territory to make sure that no one would attack the nest. And how did I create the ant cube? But first I had a look on the internet, could I buy one? And yes, I could have, but they were sold out. So I actually go to robotics, and at home I have a 3D printer. So I went on a program OneShape. That's what I use for 3D modeling, and I created it. Then I moved it to Cora, the program to make the file that the printer could take it and print it, and to arrange how thick is the walls and some protection and stuff like that. After that I put it into the printer, and I think in about 10 or 9 hours it was printed out. Then with a hot glue gun I glued it up, and I had my ant cube created, and now it's much easier to feed the ants, because at the last time when I tried to feed them normally, I was doing it with my editor, and he takes videos of some stuff. So it's basically our channel. So he opened it, and 3 ants instantly rushed out. We took some time, but we captured all of them back and put them in with no damage. Well, one did catch its leg on the cotton, but another ant came, helped it, and everything was okay. It's pretty nice that the ants help each other, like actual people. And two, there will be a YouTube short coming out today or maybe tomorrow where I will be talking a bit more about how did I make the cube, because it wasn't really hard, but if you just bought a 3D printer and created your own chip account that is totally free, it could be a little bit hard, but no, not really. And our channel is actually doing pretty good, but I think one episode, a YouTube Shorts one obviously, has I think 472 views. That's pretty good. And then the last time I checked it, 5 days from the creation of the channel, it had 4.7 hours of watch time. So that means that average all of the people spend about 1 hour watching the channel per day. And two, it was pretty interesting to have a look a bit more stuff about the channel, but you can actually have a look from where are the people that watch you. Most of them they're from America, not a surprise. Then there was, I think in second place was India, with a much smaller percentage. And then what really surprised me was, I think, Indonesia. Not a really big country, but I could see them watching an episode. And two, I forgot to say something about the ant cube, but how you can see there is some dirt inside it, because at first I took a chunk of grass and put it in with the dirt, and then I thought, hold up, the grass will rot, and we do not want that. So I took it out and got a wet tissue and wiped as much of it as I can, and just left it like that, because I thought that we together could decide how will we make it look. It will be probably the most simple way to just get some sand and put it in. I think these ants live in Africa, at the territories of Algiers and Egypt, and in South Europe. So it would be logical to put in some sand. It's the same what I did with the actual ant farm. If you haven't seen it, I would suggest for you to check it out, because there's a lot of stuff that I said about it, and to some more faulty information about the ants. Because I was reading more about the ants, how to take care of them, do they need to sleep for winter, what is the best temperature for them, and if I would want, I could get a heating mat, but the temperature is already pretty good for the ants, because the better the temperature and humidity level is in their nest, the quicker the larva will grow. Some ants, like fire ants, hate it when it's dry, and want that it would be pretty watery. Wait, I just said the same, and it would be pretty hot, I meant. So it's good for a tropical climate, Asia, East America, and places like that. But let's see, with our ants, the humidity level, the correct word, not watery. I don't think that's even a real word. They like when it's 50%, because I don't know how is it, but you can have a look what is the humidity level. I do not have such device, sadly, but I think that it will be somewhere close to the natural one. So I didn't buy it, and I could buy a heating mat, but the temperature, how I said, is pretty good. So just now I will keep it like that. But the question that I would need some help from you is, should we hibernate? If you haven't heard the sad story of my first colony, it could be hibernation that led to their demise. So should these ants hibernate? You can write down in the comments, because the longest time that an ant queen has lived, and ants cannot get a new one unless it's a certain species that can have multiple queens. If it's not that kind of species, that our ant queen isn't. So that means that one queen, when it dies, it's over for the colony. So if we would hibernate ants at the first or second year, it could be a little bit dangerous, but it would make that the queen would live longer. So if you think that we should hibernate, write down in the comments, and do leave your comment how should we decorate the ant hive nest. So goodbye, and see you in the next episode.